Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Juha Toimela. He is CEO of GRK Group. He joins me to discuss infrastructure and project management and the catalyst behind listing on the Nasdaq Helsinki Main Market. It is great to have you with us, Juha. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
You got it. GRK operates in Finland, Sweden, and Estonia, specializing in infrastructure projects, project management, track building, and paving services. Can you tell us more about your business and how it all started?
Yeah, GRK is a great success story. So if I start a little bit with the history, so actually the foundations of GRK's success were laid in 2010. Then 20 real infrastructure construction specialists became shareholders in GRK, which was that time a rather small company, a family-owned company. And in the following years, the ways of working and the company culture was created. But then in 2018, the real growth started when the acquisition of two railway construction companies were done. And at the same time, two institutional investors came to the company as shareholders. But I have to say that the ownership still remained over 80% by the employees and the management. So, but now, if we look the last 5 years, we've been growing really fast, much faster than the industry in average here, so about 20% a year. But despite of the quick growth, we've been more profitable than our peers in the industry in the region. If today we are one of the leading companies in the Nordic infra construction. Our revenue last year was 730 million euros. We employ an average of about 1,100 people directly. And we focus only to infra construction, but we have a very wide service offering there. If we look what we do, we can provide services for both public and private clients, comprising road, street construction, bridges, and other civil engineering structures, also industrial plants construction. And then we have very wide service offering for the railway engineering, construction, and maintenance. So this is the company in a nutshell and the history.
What motivated you to list on Nasdaq Helsinki Main Market?
Well, basically we had four main reasons for that. So first of all, we wanted to speed up the execution of our strategy and continue this profitable growth, to get additional financing for that. Secondly, by listing, we will of course get access to the capital markets and a more broader ownership base. Then we see that also by being a listed company, we get more visibility among especially the private sector clients and the employees, for future employees. And then of course, as a last point, now we can use our shares in payment and acquisitions, as well as in the incentive schemes for the employees. So these are the main reasons why we listed.
Juha, what initiatives is GRK undertaking to expand its presence in new geographic regions, particularly in Sweden?
Well, at the moment, we operate in Sweden only in the northern part country. And we need to broaden our presence and secure our strategic targets by moving towards south and towards the Stockholm region, the capital area. If you look the past 5 years, we've been growing, and our international growth and expansion has been based on organic growth only. And we definitely are looking forward to continue it by hiring new people, investing to machinery. But we also see that we need to speed up this process by making acquisitions. So now we have set clear targets for the potential acquisitions, and we have activated this process now after the IPO was completed in early April.
And finally, what are the key growth opportunities that GRK sees in the infrastructure construction segment?
Well, if you look at the total market, it's about 32 billion euros a year in Finland, Sweden, and Estonia altogether. The Swedish market is the most attractive. It's about 20 billion a year. The market itself has been quite stable, and it's been growing faster than GDP actually in the past years, and we see that the growth will continue. There are four main growth drivers. I will discuss them in more detail soon. So there is first of all green transition, then there is urbanization, and then the investments to defense and critical infrastructure, and also the repair debt of the infrastructure. So if we start with the green transition, so in Finland and Sweden, we have quite attractively priced carbon-free electricity available. So this means that the investors are planning to invest to industrial projects using large amounts of electricity, for instance, for hydrogen plants or processing of steel and aluminium and also biofuels. And also data centers are going to be built in large amounts as they benefit also from this cheap, clean electricity. So this all means a lot of work for us as a company in civil engineering construction. Also, there are additional investments to come to the production of windmill parks and other clean energy like solar power parks and power transmission networks. If we still continue about this, so the governments are investing to traffic with low emissions, and for instance, we are working now in Estonia for building electrification for the railway network. So then the urbanization really continues. There will be tramways, railways be built, and new housing areas, and then we have this change in the geopolitical situation after the war in Ukraine started. So this is now meaning Finland and Sweden part of NATO, and there will be extra spending on the defense sector. This means that transportation routes needs to be improved to secure the military mobility, and also direct investments to the defense side. And this is a lot of work for the infra construction all in all. So and then the repair debt finally, which is about 20 billion euros in this area. So I have to say that the market looks really good here.
All right, Juha, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.